Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Know the Truth, aka the Black Cinderella. And I guess I'm just here on this Monday morning. I'm getting ready to go to work to experience life in the workplace as a targeted individual and what, the struggles of it really is. But besides that, I'm happy to be alive, to be awake, to be able to come to you guys this morning and just say hey to everybody, to the subscribers, to my subscribers, to the people who take the time to watch these videos, to take the time to, understand me a little bit better. I appreciate all of you guys. I know during this whole pandemic time, it can be a bit too stressful, and to alleviate some of that stress, you just have to remember that this will all too, or this will too, all shall pass. Okay, it will eventually, it will, and people will start coming out normal again and live life, normally. Um, but one of the things I wanted to touch on this morning, basically, is how I realized I was a targeted individual. And it took some research to see, to read, to understand, to learn what was happening to me. When it all first started happening, like seriously, I was confused, didn't have a clue in the world why this was happening to me, why my life was going in this direction. I came across many articles on the internet that I've read, and a lot of them said, never believe what you read being a targeted individual, because it could be the handlers or the gang stalkers just basically trolling you, trying to feed you information on what is going on. So I started looking deeper into real life people that may have felt that they were targeted. And one of the first person that I came across was a man named Myron May. And I want you guys to, after this video, look him up, read him up. He was on the news. It was a real life scenario. It was real life what was happening to him, and he felt that he was a targeted individual. Long story short, to try to sum it up for you the best that I can, Myron May was a lawyer. He graduated from Florida University, but he felt and had substantial evidence that he was being targeted, that he was a targeted individual. He had drives that had information on it of what was happening. He was hearing voices. He knew that people were watching him. And mind you, he was a lawyer. So in his mind, he couldn't grasp what was going on because it was happening to him pretty much the same way that it happened to me when it first started, to where your mind is going crazy because things are happening and you just can't figure out why the fuck they're happening, and you're not crazy. And this man wanted the world to know what was going on, that he was being targeted. He has a few videos on YouTube that I suggest, some of us really sit down and watch, because when you watch real life shit that's been on the news, and the news says that he felt that he was a targeted individual, he tried to reach out. And so basically he went up to the college and with a gun, and he wanted his voice to be heard, and he wanted some type of way to open up the world for targeted individuals to understand what was going on, and this was happening to him. But except he couldn't take all the harassment. It broke him down to the point where he needed to end his life. The story went is he went into the university with this gun. He shot 3 people. The police came, opened fired on him, and he died. Now, if some of you never have heard of him, that's the reason why. They just swept it under the rug like another incident that happened. And it's very sad because he was going through the same scenarios that I was going through in the beginning stages of the not knowing. And because it was only happening to him for 3 months, I believe, it wasn't even a long time, he couldn't grasp it, and he couldn't hold on to what was going on, and it was breaking him down every single day. So as a point to what I want to say to everybody is that you cannot give up when you first are realizing that you're being targeted. It's very important that you do not get into the mind frame of you're crazy, things are happening to you, you want to end your life, you want to commit suicide, you want to take pills, you want to drug overdose, you want to drink, do not let those options be an option for you. Because if it wasn't for Myron May and understanding what he was going through, I think maybe a lot of me wouldn't be here today. Because it's kind of like when you see a real life person actually going through this shit, like we can scroll through YouTube video after video after video to see what is what and who is who. But when I see certain videos that are particularly the same thing that I kind of know what they're going through, I gravitate to it. So on the internet, it's a little bit harder to make the difference of who is who and what and who is telling the honest to God truth, okay? So we have to put that into a big perspective and understand that though we're seeing it and we're listening to it and we're hearing it, okay, it may not be reality. So reality for me was who was on the news with it. Okay, Aaron Hernandez, I believe, was targeted. Old Dirty Bastard said that he was targeted. I believe Martin Lawrence was targeted. I believe a lot of people are targeted, and there's certain things that they say with it to prove that they are targeted. The one other guy who went on to the military base and shot up the people on the military base, he also wrote in his letter that he was targeted. So there's, when it's real life situations that are happening, that real life people on the news are saying these things are happening, then that's when I realized that this shit was really happening and I wasn't a fucking crazy psychopath, crazy person. Okay, that's my main focus, was that, oh, see, I just spit out. So I guess that's why they say it's very good to wear a mask during this time, because you do get excited when you speak to people at times. So, but so my point is that when all this first started for me, it started from one fingernail clipper that was the very first fingernail clipper that I had gotten for my first son. And it was a tiny, tiny little baby nail clipper. And one day, out the blue, I decided to open up the drawer that it was in to take it out for whatever reason, because I wasn't using it. I was saving it for, just to save it. And when I took it out, on the back of it, it had a question mark in a black Sharpie. And that was the first clue that something was going on, because that was never there before. I had never seen it in all the years of having it, and it was very strange to me. And that sign started a cycle of signs that was overwhelming to deal with as a person, okay, as a human being. The different things that came after that were unbelievable. I remember going through papers. I like to write poetry. I like to, express my feelings on paper, and I've done that since a child. I would go through some of my work and I would read it, and I would notice that certain names were crossed out, certain words were added, certain words were erased and replaced with other words. So those were the things that were alarming to me as well. As a parent now, being a targeted individual, your children bring home, pictures of the art school supplies or whatever they do at school. And you bring it home and you put it on the wall, or they just randomly draw. My kids like to draw pictures on a regular basis, so I paste them on the wall as a mural. I would come home sometimes and there'd be different things painted on the pictures that my children had painted. And during this time when it was happening, I had no idea what the fuck was going on. Of course, they wouldn't know. But I would say, hey, did you come back and paint this picture like this? And 9 out of 10 times, the children would say, no, I didn't do that, Mom. I did this, but I didn't do that. So it was very weird. A lot of weird shit that was unexplainable. And that's just a little bit of stuff. Like, that's nothing compared to the gist of things. But in this video today, it's very important that we look to reality of what's going on. We know COINTELPRO, mind control, covert harassment, MK Ultra. We know that this is in existing, and it's been existing for a very long time. We know that. But our main focus is to figure out a way to get over the hump of being a targeted individual. And when you look at other stories of real life people that have been faced with being a targeted individual and understand that what they go through can be a different scenario, but quite the same. So in our mind, we have to look at a lot of things and focus on the best way to make our lives healthier, safer, and better, especially during this pandemic, and understanding that no matter what happens, we will succumb and come through and make it out and have a great day and still laugh and still smile. But just know that if you praise God and thank the Lord every day that you're living, you'll be all right. Take a look at Myron May. Read up on Old Dirty Bastard. Look up on the guy who, shot the military base up. Just put in real life people that's been targeted. Once you focus on that, you'll see that it'll be a lot better. Everybody have a great day.